The world did not rage after Baldur's death. It simply grew cold. The sun was a cataract in a blind sky, and the laughter of the gods had frozen in their halls, brittle as winter leaves. This was not a time for war, but for the slow, grinding work of consequence. An order had been given, and it was followed with the chilling precision of a glacier. They came for him not in fury, but with the grim finality of fate. There was no chase, no desperate struggle. Loki, hidden in the form of a salmon, felt the net close, and in the grip of Thor's hand, he returned to his own shape. He looked upon the faces of his brothers, the gods of Asgard, and saw not hatred, but something far worse, the placid mask of justice. It was the face of an ending that had been written long before the beginning. He had always known this moment was a debt that would be collected. They led him into the earth, to a cave where light had never trespassed. The air was still and heavy, thick with the silence of stone. There was no trial, no pronouncement of sentence. The verdict had been reached in the quiet of their hearts, a consensus of betrayal that needed no words. His sons, Vali and Narfi, were brought before him. He saw the confusion in their eyes, a mirror of a time when he, too, had believed in the sanctity of their family. One was turned into a wolf, a shadow of hunger and rage, and in the space of a heartbeat, brother turned on brother. The act was done without ceremony, a brutal, necessary calculation. Loki did not scream. He watched as they drew the entrails from his slain son, the still warm chains of his own making. He felt their impossible strength as they were wound around him, binding him to 3 great flat stones. The gods worked with the focus of craftsmen, their movements economical and sure. This was not punishment as a release of anger. It was the careful construction of a prison, meant to last until the world itself broke. The entrails hardened into iron, a bond of flesh and blood made eternal. When he was bound, they brought the final seal to his torment. A serpent, ancient and cold, was fixed to the rock above his head. Its jaw was propped open, and from its fangs a single drop of venom began to form, glistening like a black pearl in the gloom. This was the long wait, the quiet cruelty that would unmake him, drop by agonizing drop. But he was not left entirely alone. Sigyn, his wife, found her way to him through the darkness. She held a bowl to catch the poison, her loyalty a small, flickering candle in the crushing dark. Her vigil was the only measure of time in that place. The moments the bowl was full when she turned to empty it were the only moments the venom found his face. And in those moments, the earth itself would shudder with the force of his convulsions. Not from rage, but from the pure physical agony of it. He does not count the years. He does not measure the pain. He endures. The silence stretches, and the world above forgets. But Loki does not forget. He feels the venom, the stone, the iron bonds, and he waits. He waits for the chains to break, for the sun to be devoured, for the final horn to sound. This is not just a punishment, it is a promise. It is the long, patient breath before the scream of Ragnarök.